Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
On the lien, otherwise they will be sent for collection with Yuba County tax total.
Okay. All right, Joan, do you have anything on this item?
I had a question. Thank you for including me. The attachment to the staff report does not contain names. Were the property owners notified in some manner other than the publication in the newspaper?
They were sent letters with a full name. I do understand we had a Senate bill that came out that doesn't allow us to put the name and the address in the public anymore. So I think in prior times we used to put the names and the addresses in this attachment. We didn't do it this year, but of course the letters were sent to the property owners at their current service address or the last known address on file.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm there was notification other than what was published, since we can no longer publish names.
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
send out. Yeah.
Okay, and that's my only question, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, John. All right, anything from the board on this item? Okay, I'm going to go ahead then and close this public hearing, and it is 7:04. So we're closing the public. And we shall move on to the next item. Yep. No. Oh, I see.
Yes, you have. Yes, your next sub item is to take the vote.
Oh, okay. So our next item, 6.1.7, consider approving resolution number 2455, resolution adopting report of delinquent utility charges and authorized collection on the tax roll. Any questions from the board? Question from the public? Comment from legal? Joan?
No, good to go.
Hearing none.
I'll live your group.
Well, second.
First and second, please call roll.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Kroll?
Yes.
Director Flo?
Yes.
Motion carries 4 approving, 1 absent.
Okay. Moving gently on 6.2, consider approving authorized proposed parliamentary budget or preliminary budget, for fiscal year 25-26.
Okay, enclosed and attached and for your review, there is our budget document for the preliminary budget. It was prepared with information that was available at the time in June. At the time it was prepared, we will have a working budget that has the data refined. Once we know what our closing numbers are, we have all the data from the county. In a nutshell, the fiscal analysis highlights the largest items in the 25-26 budgets. Overall, utility costs that have increased by 18% for $2.9 million, which is the second largest item in the budget district-wide. Our payroll right now runs around $6.7 million. Utility costs both for the water and the sewer, they're both close to $3 million combined. Another large request was for parks, for contract seasonal parks maintenance and pool operations and outside services. And the largest item for the fire department was the purchase of a command vehicle for $100,000, and it's Measure K funds. Just a note on the budget, the line items, parks, fire, water, and wastewater operations fund the administration and also fund engineering. We are non-revenue producing accounts, but somebody has to pay for our services, and those costs are allocated via the administrative allocation, which is shown in the budget document on the administration tab. $1,042,000 for the administration, which includes the board, general manager, business office, and that engineering is our engineer, our engineering tech, and the administrative secretary. And let's see here. Now, the one note I would like to make for fire, water, and wastewater this year, we will have to draw from reserves to fund operations for the water and the wastewater side. We have capital projects that are going on. We started some of them in 2024-25, but we did not complete. We just started drawing on some of them. So the cost was rolled forward into the 25-26 budget. So I think that's about it. The fire, however, we have to dip this year into the reserves to fund operations. As I said, the only capital outlay there is for Measure K. However, depending on our discussion with the tribe and Hard Rock, we may have to go ahead and fund, take some money from reserve depending on how much overtime the fire department has on salaries. That's one of the big items right there, which we may try to need to control. And I answer some questions. There is a summary for enterprise funds, which are water and sewer on the second page. And I think the one before that is a summary for the admin and parks and fire. Parks is combined with a pool, Olivehurst Parks, youth center, and everything else.
And would you suggest right now for our funds, and when funds come in for unfunded areas, we have a breakout of what percentage goes to which, whether it's
right. There is
just us doing a reallocation of funding.
Okay, the admin allocation, is that what you're talking about?
In any of the allocations that we currently have.
Okay, the admin allocation, yeah, that would be something the board might take a look at. That's the one that takes 70% of our, wait a second, no, let's take it one step. The admin allocation is done on a time study on how much time on the admin side is spent on serving the departments. We did a time study in 2017 when we changed the last time to see what our time allocation is, and about 45% goes to the water, 45% goes to the fire. Take a look here. Water, fire takes. Just want to put what you both in them. This. So we have 4% goes to the fire, 1.5% goes to Olivehurst Parks, 3.5% goes to the CSA parks, and again 45% goes to water, 40% to wastewater, and then admin time, CFD 2002-1, 2005-2 is less. One is 0.8%, the other one is 2 here, and see if it still works. We can do another time study and count the vouchers. If you look at the business office report, there's always a count on process. I would pay, and it's something that worth goes to the CSA parks, 44.5% goes to water, and 44.5% goes to wastewater. And again, the other allocation down there is parks. It's when we allocate of contributed and charged to one of the parks we do, and 94.6% at the acreage each one of the park districts have. Now it has changed because the more we could make technically speaking, we could make the burden larger, but that's something to consider. And then property tax and liability insurance, that's based on actually the items that are carried in the fixed asset list. Now the property taxes is another allocation that was determined by the board, which again could be changed. 1.996% goes to the pool. Olivehurst Parks gets 13%. The lighting district gets 12%. The Johnson Ditch gets 0.6%, and the fire department gets 73. So
would it be beneficial for us to relook at the allocation, or do you think it's, only because I know that we're borrowing in some, we have
Yeah.
in some areas.
Yes, again, here we're going to get the admin allocation. Yes, water and sewer are those two departments that take most of our time. So we can do a count, but that's not going to be a lot of difference between. So we might want to do it. So again, the other ones are fire parks and both the parks, the CSA parks, but I think the CSA parks, the burden is on there again, they're growing, but I think if you look at the percents and just the count, we got 2 park employees and we have 2 temps. How much payroll you want to go ahead and charge for 2 park employees? And they don't do a lot of spending in check runs, so you look at the check runs that kind of the warrants out of water and wastewater. So, they're in the ballpark, but maybe, the property taxes, it's a revenue allocation. That's something occasionally we want to go ahead and take a look at just because of Olivehurst Park's a shortage of funding and we have the pool out there again. But then, you have the fire department who's strong the most. So can the fire department give up some money to go to the parks? So we can take a look at it. Maybe if you want, if the board would like to, we can do it for the working budget, but
I trust your foresight on it.
Joan has her hand raised.
Joan?
Thank you. Through the chair, I did want to mention a couple of options from a legal perspective for the district, because obviously you have an obligation to run the operation in a manner that is sustainable and that you're not relying on your reserves in order to meet your annual obligations. So one is park user fees. So that's a source that many agencies use to bolster their ability to maintain the parks beyond the property tax that Karen had mentioned. We also have, the CFD fees that we will be voting on later this evening. And then in terms of water and wastewater, my water bill in Sausalito 5 years ago was $32 a month. It's now $113 a month. And so just in 5 years, my bill has quintupled. And I know that OPUD has been very conservative in terms of the amount by which it raises its water fees and its sewer fees. At the same time, we are incurring tremendously larger utility fees, as Karen mentioned in her report. And so it might be prudent to re-examine, as cost centers, whether there's a need to consider a modest rate increase in those 2 departments.
When was the last time we did one of those events?
About 3.5, 4 years ago. We still got, I think, 2
more years.
because we did it in a 5-year. So, but that doesn't stop you from doing another one. If we need to do another one and bring it up to date, lots happened in the last 3.5 years.
Our
Expenses have gone up astronomically from what we predicted during our last fee study.
The utilities are probably the one that's standing out the most. We predicted, or that study ran the utilities for this year, estimated them about $700,000 for the wastewater side. We are ending up the year with $1.5 million. So water is about the same one, not quite as drastic, but it was ways underestimated. So that's the biggest one right there. Yeah.
So if the board wishes, to look into that, we can do that. It does take a Prop 218 process, not a vote, but probably it has to be Prop 218, and then we send out letters, and then we get more than 50% protest.
So if we do that, if we have like Wheatland coming on and all these new builds and everything, will all that be considered in it? So
It should be, yeah.
So we will be increasing capacity fees for new development to accommodate the cost of extending service. And we will be charging treatment fees to wheatland users whose waste we treat. So we are undertaking the work now to ensure that our existing ratepayers are not subsidizing the cost of adding additional users, to ensure that the additional users pay for themselves in terms of capacity fees and then rates. The same is true of of our fire protection services. We provide services to various clients, and we are very mindful and vigilant to ensure that we are not subsidizing the services to one client on the backs of other clients. And we have an ad hoc committee that is in the midst of negotiations and meetings to ensure that that principle remains intact.
Given everything that we do have coming on board, the fact that yes, we could do a survey now, but since we're set to do one in 2 years, which will be about when, assuming everything with South County infrastructure comes through, when things will really start to change, it might be better to hold off a little bit, I would think.
That's the line of thinking that, through the chair, that's the line of thinking that I took.
Okay.
You know, but if it gets, I didn't expect prices to go up.
Right.
Yeah, so if it gets to the point that we have to do it.
So how will we track in the margin of error then with that, as far as expenses versus what is actually coming in?
That's what Kara's budget is.
Yeah. So we're tracking. I mean, we're constantly looking at that.
Yeah.
With the managers.
Each manager comes in and goes through it with her, and then I ask questions as needed. Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is we're basically trying to meet the operations first. We're looking at what we have to pay. We start with the payroll, and then we put in the must, like utility and so on. And once it trickles down, we put in, the items they would like to have. But I just also would like to say that we had a lot of repairs and maintenance in the last couple of years on the water side. They were unexpected.
Yeah.
Now the projects we are planned, like the large capital project, for example, the lift station 14, those are extraordinary projects, but we have money set aside for that. That's why we're dipping in the reserves on some of the items. So, or by example, the methane abatement, we have some money set aside, but we had lots of repairs. For example, last year, our capital budget included a $50,000 pump replacement budget for various things. Well, out of 2 pumps we had to unexpectedly replace, namely it was the water side 29 and it was 4, that was $120,000, which is O&M, so to speak, operations and maintenance,
So in our budget is our contingency funds and our, what do we call it? Our what do we call it when we're saving money to
reserve
depreciation? Is that the same funding we're talking about?
We doing 2 things. We doing a short-term depreciation funding in cash.
Yeah.
We've been doing $300,000 on the wastewater side, $100,000 on the water side, and then in the past on the CSA parks, $80,000. 2024-25 fiscal year, because we did not get into those projects we had the capital outlay, we will be able to fund those reserves, the short-term depreciation again.
Okay.
So we are good this year. 2025, we are rolling the unfinished projects over. So we have money set aside. The reserves will come out as soon as I have some more information from the county. As I say, we have not received the interest.
Assume that's a
Well,
firework.
open firework, yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
We interrupt this meeting for a potential firework.
So anyhow, we will go before the working budget will actually have the reserves we are sitting on, and right now we still have reserves. We have not used the last few years. We haven't used a lot of them because we've been building them. And so looking in the future, so the way we are growing, things are breaking and we have to fix them.
Okay, any other questions
Thanks, Karen.
on the budget yet? Thank you, Karen, for this explanation. So, looking for a motion.
I'll move to approve the budget, preliminary budget for 25-26.
I'll second.
First and second, please call the roll.
Director Burbank,
Yes.
Director Nelson,
Yes.
Director Fawn,
Yes.
Director Flo,
Yes.
motion carries. 4 approving, 1 absent.
Okay, so moving on to Hillside Parks. So receive an update on Draper Ranch Park.
Take it away, Swarnjeet.
Yep. So currently Draper Ranch is composed of house development that's had gone through 2 fully developed subdivisions. The third one just went through underground. So they just completed it where everything's ready for home builders to build. 4 is currently in plan review. It's gone through 1 revision. And then there's a 5th subdivision that will follow afterwards. The 5th one will connect and then butt up to the park with all the sidewalk on that side. That should be completed. So that would be a good time to discuss and look at once all the exterior outings are done towards the outside of the park on the north side of when they're wanting to look at building those parks. It is a park site that's already owned by OPUD. But the outer infrastructure that even gets to it, whether it be the water or sewer or whatnot, would still need to be stubbed out there until the developers get there. There is a side when we start looking into it where we will need to look with the county on what they're going to require that subdivision when it gets built on that side. Because on our Boga, right now there's currently a ditch, and then on the other side of the ditch is where our park would be. So there's other infrastructures that would need to be looked at and how those costs would be covered in terms of those right-of-ways. So usually the right-of-way sidewalks are done by usually either the developer or the county requirements, but since this will be on our Boga side, which is already an existing road, those are some of the things that when that 5th subdivision comes out, we'd have to coordinate with the county on all that outside infrastructure that would be needed in terms of like walkways or even storm facilities, how that are managed in conjunction when subdivision 5 is built and we look at start developing that park for Draper Ranch.
Any questions from the board?
No. To the chair, the director that actually is most concerned about this isn't clear.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there'll need to be another update down the road when, or if you can just look at the recording, maybe. Okay. Email it to her. And
I'll swap that part out and send it. Or a verbal can be provided to her.
Thank you, Swanky, on this item. So we'll move on to the next discussion item, which is discuss Olivehurst Community Park concrete walkway.
I'll take this one. We had a plane out here,
A week and a half ago.
a couple weekends ago. So they looked into, Jesus looked into a couple of different options. He got pricing for replacing all the panels that are skewed and then replacing some cracked sidewalk. And I told him it was going to be probably really ridiculous. It was $27,000.
Jesus.
And then he got a quote for replacing the entire sidewalk from the office all the way to the tent. And that was $120,000.
Oh.
So when I got back from my vacation, I suggested that we look at a concrete grinding company. We had this done before in some of the parks down in Plumas Lake. They did a bunch of them all done in one day. That's what their specialty is they take care of those little lips and they grind it to ADA standards. They do this for the fall, they do day in and day out, you know what they're doing. So with that in mind, we really got a quote about $6,000 to do this entire park. That's 2 days of work. And also the pool. So they'll do the pool. So
Cool.
That's great.
I suggest we go that way.
What about the trees that are causing the
Roots.
Yeah, the root. I know there had been discussion at the Parks Committee meeting about having to remove some trees because of the roots.
I wouldn't recommend doing that. The trees that are there have been there for a long time. I think all the moving that's going to happen, it's done. And I think you could safely grind it, and I think we could do it. Now, if you replace the panels, then you know you're going to have to cut roots out, and that's no good.
Okay.
I think grinding is the alternative. But I would recommend.
Okay.
Through the chair, Joe's hand is raised. Sorry, Director. Rory.
Joe?
I got a question.
Joe?
Thank you, through the chair. I wanted to mention that for future park development, some of my clients are utilizing a new technique that when they plant trees, they plant the trees with an underground cage that prevents the roots from spreading out until they extend much deeper underground, which prevents the kind of spalling and concrete issues that we're seeing in some of our locations. So I just wanted to throw that out there as something to consider. We could consider that as a prerequisite when developers, and we have some now, are developing their park plans, that when they plant trees that will be in proximity to sidewalks or roads, that they utilize this new technique for planting the trees to mitigate the inevitable root spread that disrupts concrete surfaces.
Chair, the county does something similar, although they don't use a cage. They use pipes that they replace on each side of the tree that go down a few feet. And that encourages the roots. The roots are seeking water. So if you water deep, the roots will seek that. And that seems to work pretty well. I think that spec may have been added to ours that are within so many feet of a path. But Swan G can check that out.
His hand is raised, actually.
Is, you know, in a park, you can put trees wherever you want. Typically, they just don't put them next to sidewalks. You know. The county does it because it's between the street and the sidewalk, and you only have a very narrow area to put it.
So my question is, you talked about doing the same thing to the pool. I know we've talked about having this thing that around the pool then. Is this versus redoing it? We can like do this cheaper version, or we still need it?
We still need to do it. Yeah, it's ugly. It's cracked. You know, we're going to take care of the tripping issues with this just because we really need to do it. That's it. Yeah, it still needs
It's still this stuff. Okay.
All right. Moving on to give an update on South County infrastructure.
Do we have to vote for that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
You lowered his hand.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead. Swan.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the tree root intrusion. I know in our new standards, 2 feet outside the root, we have a barrier that goes down 3 feet. So as the roots intrude upon that, then they start sinking towards downward, so they aren't going towards horizontally towards the sidewalk. They're actually meant to go down vertically and avoid those concrete slabs or sidewalks.
We're going to go back to South County.
yes, and not much to report this time. The 5th of August, they have the water board actually has a meeting where they approve the plan. That plan has got us down for $75 million for the South County project. Director Grego and I, and the legal folks went down to The last one, it was a workshop and there was a lot of encouragement. Even other jurisdictions were recommending our project. We was active. So their board talked about our project for probably at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes. It's not solid, really was. Looks pretty good. That's all that right now.
Any questions from the board?
No,
Public?
keep going down, Debbie.
Yes.
All right, any questions from the public? Okay, moving on. Receive an update on lift station at River Oaks and Sands at Plumas Lake.
Yeah, there's been the past 2 weeks, a lot of construction going out there. They did about 90% of the road. They have one section of pipe that's we're holding on to as we're now digging inside the lift station, which we have our dewatering going down where water is being pumped out. So when they start trenching, there isn't water within our trenches. So they're going to be digging in these next 2 weeks about 30 feet down. And they're leaving that last section of pipe under the road so they can align it correctly. So they know as they're trenching backwards into the lift station, how far they need to angle it out from the street so it aligns perfectly with these larger pipes that are 14 inches or so and these 90 degrees. We want to make sure they're angled out correctly. But we've been moving swiftly last couple of weeks on that. And we're hoping to have that completed before the start of the school year for the kids.
Good. Any questions from the board? Questions from the public? Hearing none, moving on to consider rejecting all bids for well 34 PLC replacement project.
This was a project regarding our well site 34 in Plumas Lake. One of the main control configuration, which that communicates with the well site on turning it on, turning it off, and making it operator friendly in terms of how they operate the system, has had a malfunction that requires a new updated integral system. We went out to bid last month and received bids earlier this month. We received 2 bids, one from Right One, the other one from Telstar. We had an original estimate of $125.
It looks like Swarm froze. Oh, maybe I froze.
Nope, he's still going.
So we had 2 bids. One came in at 148, the other one at 168. Our estimate is 125. The lowest bidder had quite a few mistakes, and after a review, it was decided that they didn't meet the qualifications that the bid required in terms of everything being turned in. And the second lowest bidder had an abnormality in their bid as well, but we deemed that they were quite significant above what we estimated that the project should cost. And we're recommending to the board, based on those items, that the board reject both bids and rebid this. We looked at the bids overall to see how we can make them more competitive, as we only received 2 bids, and we feel like we have a solution that will provide for a more competitive bid that will allow us to be within our estimated original engineer's estimate while still meeting our desire of having this PLC system before the start of next summer.
Any questions from the board?
I'll move to approve the rejection of the bids.
I'll second.
First and second, please call roll.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Peralta?
Yes.
Director Flo?
Yes.
Motion carries 4 approving, 1 absent.
Just a quick question on 34. Well, 34, is this inoperable well, or is it just, this is something we're working on?
It's operable, but in the last few months, we've had some issues trying to keep it going. The PLC, program logic controller, is not working properly. Since that time, they've been able to get it working properly, but it's still antiquated. And the issue with it is it's a proprietary design by a company who's no longer in business.
Yeah.
And it's hell trying to find somebody that can do programming and do repairs on it.
I see.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I remember that meeting, but I just couldn't remember.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving on to 7.6, consider approving Jacobs Engineering Amendment number 10. July 31st, 2020 professional service agreement.
This is Amendment 10 to the South County Design Project. It's already been approved as a grant, not a loan, and not a loan grant, but a grant from the water agency. So it's basically a pass-through. We still need to get approval for it because of the price.
Has anything been holding that up on our end or on the engineering end?
Nothing yet. I mean, we're going along happily.
All right. Any questions on this? All right.
We'll be doing, we're
Looking for
We'll move to approve amendment 10 to the July 31 PSA.
I'll second that.
first, second, please call roll.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Peralta?
Yes.
Director Flo?
Yes.
Motion carries, 4 approving, 1 absent.
All right. Going on to fire department, consider approving resolution 2454. Resolution authorizing collection of California Heartlands fire suppression assessment for fiscal year 25-26.
This is our annual Heartland assessment. It is on 51 parcels at $88.52 a piece for a grand total of $4,514 a year.
Okay.
And it's used towards fire protection for historic Olivehurst.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, quick question before I call roll. I live in California Heartlands. Can I vote on this? Joan?
Yes, so long as a matter concerns the public generally and is not, something that's happening within 500 square feet of your property that would benefit you, but is something that applies to the region generally, you may vote on it, even though you're within the region that it impacts.
I just wanted to make sure. Please call roll.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Peralta?
Yes.
Director Flo?
Yes.
Motion carries, 4 approving, 1 absent.
All right, moving on to business office. 9.1, consider approving resolution 2456, resolution approving Plumas Lake CFD 2002-1 tax report for fiscal year 25-26, and levying the apportioning the special tax for fiscal year 25-26, providing therein for strategic plan 5.3 and 5.4.
Again, this is for the CFP 2002-1 bond debt. It is assessed on 3,051 parcels. Each parcel pays $205.99, and it will cover the annual bond debt, which is roughly $580,000, and then we have a small portion for admin costs.
All right, any questions from the board?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
I have a first, second, please call roll.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Peralta?
Yes.
Director Flo?
Yes.
Motion carries, 4 approving, 1 absent.
Moving on to 9.2, consider approving resolution 2457, a resolution approving CFD number 2005-2 tax report for fiscal year 25-26 and levying the appropriations of special tax for fiscal year 25-26 as provided therein on our strategic plan 5.3 and 5.4.
Okay, this is for the park maintenance, which is so to speak, the gap funding between the CSA 66 monies we receive and what it truly needs to maintain our parks. We have 3,027 parcels. We need for the estimated need we have this year for the gap funding is about $435,000. That means Wheeler Ranch with 665 parcels, the special tax levy is $180.96. All other parcels except the New Ross Ranch are $134.50 a year, and then the Ross Ranch apartments are $78 in assessments, which will bring us to $435,000, which brings the gap funding between the CSA monies and this to go ahead and operate our parks and have some prudent reserves for going into the future and they could accommodate all the park growth.
That apartment funding, is that per unit? Or is that for the entire?
Per unit.
Per unit.
Any other questions from the board? All right,
I'll move to approve.
Second.
First and second, please call roll.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Prop?
Yes.
Director Flo?
Yes.
Motion carries 4 approving, 1 absent.
Okay, moving quickly to human resources. 10.1, consider approving step 2, the merit increase for Storm G. Oil, Public Works Manager, step 3 to step 5, retroactive to July 1, 2025.
So I highly recommend this. Got a lot on this plate, with long hours.
He's also getting certified for additional certifications, correct?
Sworn can speak up. I think he's got his D1 or D2.
D2.
D2, yeah, and then eventually I want him to get a T2 treatment, but mainly I want him to try to get his PE, and he is working on that. He's done some testing, so we'll continue to do that. But
I'll happily move to approve.
I'll second.
First, second, please call roll.
Director Burbank?
Yes.
Director Nelson?
Yes.
Director Prop?
Yes.
Director Flo?
Yes.
Motion carries 4 approving, 1 absent.
Very good. All right, board schedules, any changes?
Anybody not going to be present for committees? I know you won't be
I
for.
potentially will be here, actually.
Okay.
Plans have changed.
All right.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Okay, so looks like schedules are good. Moving on to reports, general manager, do you have anything to report?
no,
Okay, legal, Joan, do you have anything to report?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, so, directors, anything to report?
I just want to say thank you to the fire department for that flag ceremony they did. Don't know who was able to make it out, but that looked great. Thank you, everyone.
I want to thank the fire department for coming to my house and helping me with Sharon, get her to the hospital. They were very professional, fantastic work, and I'd like that passed on to the chief.
That's awesome.
Any other board member? All right, we're going to softly go into closed session. Closed session, we're going to go to 14.1, consider legal counsel, anticipated litigation, intention of litigation pursuant to paragraph 4, subdivision D of Government Code, section 54956. 0.1 or 9, excuse me, in case. We have a 10.2 personnel and government code, section 54957. Consider public employee performance evaluation of our general counsel. And then moving to 14.3, consider legal counsel, existing litigation, paragraph 1, subdivision D of section 54956. 0.9, names of the case in the matter of Aquos. Is that how you say it? Aquos. Film litigation against the DuPont, 3M, or DuPont, 3M, ICO, VAS, SF, what is that? Just initially.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the BASF stands for.
Okay.
The German name for actually the entity, it's Bayerische something. So it's a long word.
It's an acronym.
Yeah, it's an acronym. Yeah.
All right.
And I'll explain it. I'll explain it further.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll take a quick break, and we'll move quickly into our closed session.
And for the first 14.1, we'll need Karen and Leanne to.
Yep. We're gonna need Karen for the first two items that we'll discuss. We'll need
Recording
Brianne for
stopped.
one.
John, I was waiting for you to say, Bill.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
Yuba-Sutter alive. It's the truth that comes through.